Hi, everybody, and welcome to the EVGA Podcast. This is the podcast after PAX. So, little overview, we're going to be talking about PAX. We're going to be talking about X99, which was launched at PAX. We're going to have a handful of other things to talk to you about, and we're also going to have the much-anticipated Street Fighter Showdown. I know all of you have been waiting for
I'm not.
much anticipation, except for Jacob.
I'm not.
So why don't you tell me why you're not looking forward to that?
I am just not very good at Street Fighter, to be honest. I've always been a Mortal Kombat player since I was a kid, and I did play Street Fighter, but I'm just not very good at it, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. But I know you haven't played it in a while either, so right?
It'll still be very embarrassing if I don't win, especially after all the smack I've been talking about after losing in Mortal Kombat.
So honestly, if you do lose in Street Fighter, then I will feel very bad for you.
Yeah, I'll feel bad for me too. Okay, so that's the general overview.
And it's the new Street Fighter, right?
It is. It's Ultra Street Fighter 4. It's the one that just came out
a few months ago?
Is the month and a half. It came out around E3 time. So 2 months ago, something like that. So, well, first things first, we're going to start this off. I know we've been showing you teasers of the board for a while, but we've never really come out and said it, hey, this is the X99, or here's the specifics of the X99. We're actually going to give you an in-depth show of the X99 today. So, Jacob?
Okay, so here is the X99 classified. This is the highest end X99 motherboard that we offer. And
what are the other types of the X99 we're offering?
We have two other models. We have a model called FTW, and we have a model called the X99 Micro as well.
And the general difference between them?
A few differences. Most notably is the Micro version is Micro ATX. So
couldn't have figured that one out from the name.
Right, yeah. So smaller form factor, much smaller.
Okay.
And then the FTW is essentially one step above that. It does. It's a full-size eATX board. It has a few more power phases. So that one is 8 power phases. The Micro is 6, and it gives you more PCI Express slots. And then for this one here, the classified, which is the highest end offering, this one's 10-phase power. It has 2 M.2 slots, one here and one here. So, yeah.
I also heard this one had an onboard video card. Or sorry, graphics card.
No video card.
Man, audio card. Can't speak
yeah,
today.
so this one does have a... they all have audio cards, I guess you could say. What's that? Oh, let me see. Maybe you can see that better. So,
very pretty board.
So actually, we're going to be giving away one later on this stream.
We are. It's part of our 9 days of X99 promotion we've been doing. We've been, for multiple different social media aspects, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we've been showing them off, and we've been giving away a board per day for each of these. This particular day, we're doing the podcast. So at some point during this podcast, we are going to present to you a way to win this board, the X99 Classic.
And only for people that are on
Only for people that are on the stream, correct. So if you're not watching the stream, you can't win.
So back to the classified board. It's Creative Core 3D audio, quad-core audio processor on here. So it's obviously a premium audio solution. You get the great creative drivers as well that have like all the advanced settings and stuff to tweak the audio properties.
Interesting. So the classified is pretty much primarily for overclocking.
Generally, I would say it's. I mean, honestly, they all overclock pretty good. The classified does have 10 power phases, and it actually has dual. This is something else that's different on this board. It has dual 8-pin CPU power inputs, which is really only needed for like extreme liquid nitrogen.
True. And the FTW only has one.
FTW has one, and the Micro has one as well. But honestly, it's enough usually, even for like 4.6, 4.8 gigahertz, which is about what most people are doing. 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, somewhere around there is what most people are doing on X99 classified. X99 today.
And these are all DDR4 and only DDR4.
Yeah.
What's the cap on these boards for RAM?
So the Micro board supports a maximum of 64 gigabytes.
Okay.
And it's four DIMMs, so 64 gigs. And then the FTW and the classified support 128 gigs. They have 8 DIMMs. In each of those.
So that's basically, if you want to cap the board out, you're using a minimum of 16 gigs per stick.
Right, yeah. And that may actually increase in future, but that's what it's at. That's what it supports today. And we may be able to add higher density support in the future as well, even higher than that.
Fantastic.
And it supports, so there's a BIOS update on EVGA's support page today to enable 2800 and 3000 megahertz memory support. You can go a little bit higher with overclocking, but actually Next week, we likely will release another BIOS update to improve the compatibility with high-performance memory.
Fantastic. Okay, well, speaking of the X99, right now we actually got the deal over in Newegg right now, where if you purchase an X99 motherboard, you actually get the Torque X10 mouse for free.
This one?
That mouse, not that one. That's actually the carbon, but you get the non-carbon version
Very
of that
similar.
mouse. It's almost identical minus the carbon.
Yeah.
For free with the purchase of an X99. So if you were considering getting one of those, that'd be a good time to get it. I believe it's good until the 7th of this week. So
yeah, keep
that in mind.
It's for a limited time, so yeah, it's a good deal.
Okay, well, as I said in the beginning, this is the end of our PAX week. PAX was last weekend. We spent a lot of time there. I was there for about
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days.
You were there 4 days. I was there for almost 6 days. So a lot of time at PAX. We've actually got a little bit of a video to show you. It's just a general overview of PAX. Jacob shot it while we were there, so we're going to switch over to that and we're going to show that to you.
So there's me and you with a gun pointing backwards.
And there's Rob as the medic.
Rob's out today, by the way.
Mean Greens, that we'll actually talk about that a little bit later. That's the game we were displaying at PAX. It's Unreal 4. It's
pretty fun. It's like a team deathmatch game powered by Unreal Engine 4, so it looks really good.
There's a lot of cool stuff at PAX. A lot of weird people as well. It's fantastic. There's Evolve. That's the game that I will be talking in depth about.
He played a lot of Evolve.
Played a lot of Evolve. Significant amount. There's our X99 display that we had at our booth when we launched this. It was launched on Friday night. Was at PAX.
Launched at, of course, Intel had a pretty big presence at PAX.
Very big. They had 2 separate booths, I believe.
Far Cry 4 was there as well. I'm really looking forward to that. And a lot of the EVGA partners were there that we work with for system builders.
Lots of cosplay going on. Can't really tell it much, but here in the bottom you can see the carbon fiber on the side, whereas the regular one does not have that carbon fiber.
The sound of yeah, that's better.
There you go. That should be better. Sorry, we weren't intending on speaking too much during the video, but we got questions, so we'll cover it at the same time. So yes, that's the carbon fiber. The regular one does not have the carbon fiber.
Okay, I think that's better now. And I think we have another question. Is Quad SLX supported only by the 5930 and the 5960? And the answer is yes, because those ones have 40 PCI Express lanes
The other
each.
one only has 28, I believe.
Right. And let's see, what else do we have in this video here?
Well, there's the Origin system. That's one of our proprietary cases. There's Falcon Northwest, another one of our supporters.
There's the Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. Which one was your favorite Power Ranger?
I think everyone liked the Red Ranger, right?
That was the Hadron system we were running at our booth. It's got a Titan black in it. A little Hadron. It's pretty awesome.
There's Turtles Arcade. There is Turtles Arcade.
That's actually a game where you had to blow over the old NES cartridge to trigger the thing on screen, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I did a lot of that when I was a kid.
That was the end of the PAX video. We also have one other special treat for some of you who may or may not have seen this before. But some of you have heard of Nerdgasm. This was
Barnacles.
Barnacles, yes. His podcast, or video cast is Nerdgasm. So, this should be interesting. And there's Jacob.
So basically what happened was before the show, he was like, send me a tweet or something. I'm going to give you a piggyback ride. I didn't really believe him, but actually he was true to his word.
Wow. Okay. All right, so we got some more questions here. Confused about the description, says it's a DDR4 240 pin, but DDR4 is 288. So what's the deal with that?
Where exactly is that It might be a misprint that we need to look at. But we'll check that out. I think that might be it from our website or something.
Possibly.
So
If you go to EVGA, it says DDR 240.
yeah.
So it's probably a misprint.
It is 288 pins. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay, so that's
Cool.
something that it's just a misprint. We'll have to correct. Sorry
Check
about
it
that. We'll get back to that one as soon as that's corrected.
it's, SDMF74 asked about a new EV bot. So a lot of people have been asking about EV bot. So we had if for those of you who don't know, it's like a small handheld, kind of like cell phone size device you plug into graphics cards and motherboards. It still works on some recent products, but the product itself has kind of been discontinued. We are looking at possibly bringing it back in the future, but I don't want to make any real commitments to that. It is something that we're looking at, and I know people have been asking about it. So
Okay. So tentative, nothing official. We'll see.
sound comparison between the classified and FTW. The FTW has a Realtek ALC 1180, I think, or 1185.
It's oddly specific.
And the classified has Creative Core 3D, so you get some additional audio features on the classified, and of course you get the kind of creative driver stack as well.
Okay. Fantastic.
Has the BIOS update procedure been updated? And yes, this is a big topic for us. So now you're able to update the on X99 and actually Z97. You're able to update the BIOS from within the BIOS. So that's something new that we added recently.
Very good. Okay, we're going to hold off on questions for a second, and we're going to get back to PAX. So, what did I see at PAX? I'm big into games. PAX is I go there and I look at all the games, and I'm super happy. Get to play everything I want to play. My big thing was I really wanted to play Evolve. I really wanted to play Bloodborne, and I also wanted to play Dreadnought and Grey Goo. Luckily, I got to play all of those. First things first was Evolve. I've talked about Evolve before. It's a 4v1 game. One person plays the monster, the other four play the hunters, trying to take out the monster. It's the monster, meanwhile, is trying to feed, get bigger, get stronger, and if he gets strong enough, he can take out the objective point if he can't kill the hunters, and vice versa. I was lucky enough to get to play this 3 or 4 times. I got all the wristbands for all the different classes, and I even got to play one of the live commentated matches up on the big screen, which was pretty much made my trip. It was very, very fun. If you haven't checked it out, I'd suggest going and give it a look, watch some videos for it. The other one that we haven't really seen much of was Bloodborne. Bloodborne is by the same people, the same studio who did Dark Souls, the original, not the second one. It's very much the same style, except for it takes place almost in a Van Helsing type of environment. It's a lot of dark creatures. You're walking around with a pistol and a sword. It's a little bit more aggressive. Dark Souls is a very defensive game where you're extremely careful and deliberate, whereas in Bloodborne, you kind of want to attack as much as you can. It even has a feature where if you take damage, if you can counterattack fast enough, you can regain a portion of that damage, if not all of it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty dark, and it's not out yet, and I'm not sure when the release date is, but it's another game I was very, very interested in. Did you see anything interesting at PAX?
Honestly, I didn't get that much time to look at some of the games at PAX, but for me, I'm interested in Far Cry 4.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a little bit of it, and it looks great. Nothing really that new from what I could tell from what they've kind of showed in trailers and such, but I really like Far Cry 3, so I'm looking forward to that. And also Evolve. I am looking forward to Evolve.
We'll have to play some.
Yeah. So I think they're going to have a pretty big alpha coming out.
They are, actually. Their alpha, it started and then it stopped, and then it should be starting up again with the delay, or with the game being pushed back. They're probably going to do a pretty significant alpha.
Yeah.
They're even calling it the big alpha, but we'll see when it comes down to that. The other really big game that got a lot of press that was unexpected, that no one really knew about, because it was only announced in a press room at E3 and it wasn't shown publicly until PAX, was Dreadnought. It's by Greybox, 6 Foot, and I believe it's Jaeger. The same people who did Spec Ops was Jaeger. And the concept behind the game is imagine TF2 with giant hulking multi-kiloton ships. It's kind of like that. So it's more of a slower pace. You move the ship, you feel like you're moving a massive ship. It's very deliberate in your motion. You take these things, and if you're flying the big Dreadnought class, you're turning slowly, getting this thing to move. It's very stressful. and it's a game very, very heavily based on positioning and teamwork. So it's a different play style, but it's very, very engaging. It's kind of one of those games that you didn't know you wanted to play it until you started playing it. So that's another game that I'm really, really looking forward to, and it's also on the Unreal Engine.
And Borderlands had a big booth there as well.
2K had Evolve and Borderlands, and they had a absolutely massive booth. It was gigantic. It was probably one of the biggest booths I've seen them do. Half of it was 2K, half of it was Borderlands. They had a lot of videos showing for Borderlands 2, and it was right near our booth, so I got to know that jingle on that video really
saw that video play 100
really well.
But it looks pretty good. I mean, if you're a Borderlands fan, then definitely you should be interested in this one. It's
Borderlands 2 on the moon.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is with some new classes, except for this time you get to play as Claptrap, which I'm sure that'll please a lot of people.
He's a fan favorite.
So we have a few more questions, so let's take a peek at some of these again. Let's see. How high can the voltage be increased on DDR4, and how low can the CL be dropped?
Well, it's going to vary depending on the memory. Most memory will run at 1.2 volts, and the CL rating will vary, but obviously the BIOS gives you all the knobs to tune that. On the voltage side, you can go really, really high on the voltage, probably much higher than what is safe for most memory, but if you had the memory that could accept that voltage, then it can do it. And the same with the CL timings. You can lower it as low as you want to go, but it's up to the DIMM to really determine if it's going to be able to be stable at that setting or not.
Okay, it's good to know. It's some good information. Let's see.
Is there an X99 Mini ITX coming? Actually, we looked at this.
We had asked that a lot at PAX, actually.
And we looked at this even before the product's launch, but it'd be really challenging to do. The socket is so large.
It's a huge socket, and we wanted all 4 DIMMs.
Yeah, the socket is large, and it's also 4 DIMMs, so if you were to try to do it, you would definitely, I would think, have to drop 2 of the DIMM slots, and you would lose quad channel memory there. So
you drop the 32.
It's kind of a
quad channel.
But we may be able to look at it again if there's enough interest.
Okay. Okay. So now is the big moments. We're going to be doing the much anticipated Street Fighter Showdown. So me and Jacob let's just preface this with.
Not good.
We haven't played in a long time, and neither of us have actually played with a gaming stick in probably even longer. So this is going to be fun. I still need to win this, though. This is very important that I need to win this, so we're going to switch over to this now.
All right.
So I don't know, what is your big player that you use, Jacob?
I don't really have a favorite, but I think I will
start. See, I'm a big. Ever since Street Fighter 4 came out,
Do you ever customize these things, or you just kind of?
I never. I mean, I don't know what Ultra Double Combo or Ultra Combo Double is. That's something they added in Ultra, and I don't know what it is or how to even do it, for that matter. I've always played Sakura. She's always been incredibly weak. I heard she got buffed in this one, but
let's pick the level. There's a cool level here with a dinosaur on it.
There is a dinosaur there.
I think this is a new level, actually. I don't remember seeing this one.
Let's see if I can win this. I better win this. I'd be very unhappy. Alright. There's Chun-Li being Chun-Li.
There's the dinosaurs.
You ready for this?
There's the female version of Ryu.
Pleased to meet you.
Alright.
Are you ready?
Alright.
Fight!
Knocked that right off there. How was this? Oh, air grab. Really? Hey. All I can seem to do is Dragon Punch, but if I'm winning, I don't care. The X-Ray!
Oh. That was bad. I think we're going to have to go back to
I would rather not. Maybe when 10 comes out. When 10 comes out, I will definitely spend
I think we should go old school and play
and get used to
Mortal
this.
Kombat 2 or 1.
Alright, channel all of that rage shakeup, because I know you have it in you. By that I really need to. Come on. Stop it. Hey. Back it off. Oh, I almost got that. Stupid kicks. Knock it off. Ha! Yes, a thing. I did a thing. No, I don't think you did yet. All right, so.
Sakura wins!
Okay, so that settles that. Street Fighter Challenge is done. I have won.
This is the outcome that I predicted.
Satisfied. Take that out. Alright, we're going to switch back to the main one now. Alright, so now we're going to get back to the 9 days of X99. So we've been talking about a lot of things about these boards. So now we're going to give you a question. We're going to ask you a question, and the first person to answer it will win this board. However, we're going to make you answer this like Jeopardy. So when you put your answer in, you need to put it in the form of a question. So what is your answer? If you don't put your answer like that, it's not going to count. Even if you get the right answer first, we're not going to count it. So keep that in mind. So, Jacob, you can do the honors of asking the question.
Okay, so like you said, it needs to be in the form of a question. Jeopardy style.
Jeopardy style.
So, so we talked about the X. So this is the board we're giving away.
That is the board.
The X99 classified. And we talked about the audio processor on it. It's Creative Core 3D. And I also mentioned once, how many cores does it have? The audio processor. How many cores does it have?
How many cores does the audio processor
And
have?
the first person to answer that in the form of a question will win.
Should we sing the Jeopardy soundtrack?
It might be, it might be copyrighted.
Might be copyrighted. That's true. Okay. I see the answer.
The Great Warmage.
I see the answer, and it seems that the winner was Scooter.
No,
I believe Scooter was the winner.
Well, let's check.
Going back up, checking this. There it is. I see it. There's the answer.
Yeah.
So Scooter9495, you are the winner. You will receive a message from us on here. So when you get that message, you can take care of that accordingly. But congratulations, Scooter. You have won the X99 classified motherboard. Thank you for paying attention.
For those who didn't win.
Yes, for those who didn't win, we still have another 2 days going on. We've got another one coming up tomorrow, which is going to be on Facebook, and we've got the last day, which is going to be on Instagram. So there's still 2 more chances to win an X99 motherboard. I believe tomorrow is going to be the FTW, and then the Saturday is going to be the Micro. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. Don't give up. Keep giving it a shot. Yeah, you can find the link to that on our main page if you go to EVGA.com. It's actually our front rotator right now. And since we're on the topic of contests, we also had our Hadron mod case that just ended recently. We wanted to thank anybody who participated. Had a lot of really cool mods and some changes that were done to our cases. And we did have winners, and they will be posted on Monday. So if you participated in that, go check it out. If you didn't, go check it out anyways because there's some cool mods. So latest thing from NVIDIA and what they're doing is they're going to be having an event called Game 24. I believe it is on is it the 18th?
Yeah, it starts on the 18th
Yes.
at 6
p.m.
6 p.m.
And
yeah.
it's a 24-hour, basically tribute to PC gaming. It's kind of a pat on the back to PC gamers everywhere for becoming just the behemoth that it is today, and it being the most...
For being awesome.
Pretty much being awesome, effectively. And they're going to be having all sorts of events. They're going to be streaming it live. They're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff going on there. So if you haven't checked it out, you can register and sign up for it. It's actually going to be, I believe it's in
the main one's
it's in LA area. I
Yeah,
believe.
going to be in the LA area, but they actually have other events in other parts
True.
of
One
the
is in
country
Shanghai.
and in the world.
And I can't remember where the other one is. But yes, one's in LA, one's in Shanghai, and there's another one.
Yeah, if you're near those areas, you should definitely kind of try to check it out. And if you're not, then you can just watch the live stream. And video will be live streaming the entire event as well.
Fantastic. Well, actually, some of us may or may not be there, so if you do stop by, you can try and find us, wave. We may just completely pretend like we don't know you. We don't know. Maybe you'll get a piggyback ride from Jacob, or you can give him a piggyback ride.
That'd be great.
You never know what you can get.
Man, barnacles can move fast, man.
He can. He was, in that small space, he was all over the place.
Yeah, he was moving.
So we got some more questions going on. Jacob, I'll let you do the honors.
Let's see. What is the difference between the SATA ports on the classified and the FTW? So They're actually the same. 10 SATA ports on both of them. They're both 6G, so there's all 10 right here.
Yeah, a lot of people were confused because on the FTW, these three
they're colored
were
differently.
red. So a
Yeah.
lot of people assumed,
Actually, the reason
it
for
was
that
different.
is the top 6 here can be added to a RAID configuration, and the bottom 4 here are just kind of spare drives.
Okay,
the way that,
that's
that's
good
the way
to
the
know.
chipset works.
That's definitely an important
So
piece of
they're all
information
native
have.
to the chipset, so there's no third-party controllers for the SATA. on there.
Okay. What's the highest, lowest temperature X99 can operate? That's a tricky phrasing right there. The highest, lowest temperature.
Not really sure how to answer that one.
Is that asking for the high and the low, or is that asking for the lowest temperature in just a weird way?
And
Not
what
sure.
What temperature? CPU
Yeah.
temperature?
Like
Or
what kind of temperature are you looking for?
there's a lot of things on the motherboard that can get warm. And another question we had is about the Hadron case mod contest that we ran recently. So we had a case mod contest for the EVGA Hadron chassis, the mini ITX chassis, and I think the winners will be posted next week, right?
Thanks for the echo, man.
Oh, you already said that?
I already
Okay.
said that.
Alright.
It's okay though. I mean,
Oh, well, I saw the question up there. so-
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yes, this other contest we had was the EVGA Back to School Gaming event. The winners for that will also be posted on Monday. So for all those who participated in that, that will also be posted. So those will be posted not quite at the same time, but both on Monday.
And the Hadron case mod.
Correct. So we're gonna wrap this up. We've got a few questions left, and then we're gonna call this for now. Let's see. Sound comparison for the classified and FTW. I believe we already covered that a little bit with the types of audio cards that were on board with them. Do you have any more detail on the differences between those?
Not really. I mean, I think the FTW and the Micro are 8-channel audio, and the Creative, I believe, 6-channel. But you get a lot of, and they all have optical audio out, which is a feature that a lot of people ask for. But the biggest advantage of the classified is the fact that it uses the Creative. It's a Creative processor, and it has the Creative drivers that go along with it. It supports all the Creative features that are used in many games.
Okay. Well, someone asked when will the winners of the other days be announced. All of the other winners will be announced on the 9th. Following the theme of 9 days of X99, we figured it was only fitting to also announce the winners on the 9th. Kind of makes sense.
9.
We're following the 9 policy here. So when or if will EVGA release an X99 motherboard for water cooling users? Is that something we have in the works, or is that something...
I'm not sure what the question really means. I mean, obviously the existing boards can be used with water cooling. I think maybe he's talking a chipset and voltage
Possibly.
regulator cooling. There's nothing in the works for that right now, but there is, I'm sure you'll see third-party blocks from the various EK, SwiftTech, those guys that usually put out the...
It's true. There are water blocks that generally come out for most of the boards, so you can always look to that as another alternative to water cooling. Let's see. Is Rob avoiding our MC Hammer Dance for Cash challenge? Actually, he's not avoiding you on purpose. He actually caught the PAX pox. We were at PAX for a while, and he came home with the virus. Luckily, I have been spared so far, but you never know. I might not be in the next podcast because maybe I'll have it from him. We'll see. But right now, Rob is actually recovering because he caught it.
So maybe next week.
Maybe next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
What are your opinions and experience performance between the 4790K versus the 5820K?
The biggest benefit of the 5820K is going to be the additional 2 cores that you get, because it's a 6-core processor. So if you are using, if you're doing any like content creation, multimedia stuff, then you're going to see a pretty big advantage with the additional cores. For gaming and such, it's not going to be a huge boost unless the game can really take advantage of those cores. I think maybe Battlefield can, and maybe a few other ones, but it's going to vary depending on the application, really.
Okay. All right. Well, that's just about all the time we have for today, so we're going to sign off. But make sure you tune in on our next podcast because we might show you a sneak peek at a new product. We won't tell you what, won't tell you where, won't tell you how, but we might show you something on the next podcast. So until then, I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Bye.
See you.